So, Netherlands will face Argentina for a place in the World Cup semi-finals tonight. It's a fixture that captures the imagination, with both sides having a rich history of playing football with a style that excites their fans. Let's get more on this and cross live to Garrett Hughes, who's over in Doha. Over to you, Garrett.
Listen, I am really looking forward to this game. I've been covering the Dutch and the Argentine camps all week, and this has just got the feeling. This really feels like it's big time at the World Cup. I've got a face familiar to us on Sky Sports News. Marcel van der Kraan is with us, football expert from De Telegraaf in the Netherlands. Marcel, what you don't know about Dutch football is not worth knowing about, but I'm going to go straight in there. I really like the Netherlands. They've been great fun, but there are many people in the Dutch media that just do not like the way this team is playing and do not like the way Louis van Gaal set them up. Tell us why.
Well, not just the media, the fans, a majority of the fans, former players. You know, we were brought up with the football of Johan Cruyff, total football. We conquered the world in 1974. Must say, we never won the final, but that is the football that made us so popular. It had flair. In 78, we had flair with Johnny Rep, Neeskens, all those players almost winning the final again, but losing it in extra time. And over the years with Dennis Bergkamp and all the great players, Van Persie in the last World Cup in Brazil, it was all fantastic football for us. You know, and now suddenly we see something that we don't recognise. We sit back, we go on our own half, we wait for the counter-attacking, sneaky counter-attacks. That's not Dutch football, and some of the former players are saying Louis is crucifying the status of Dutch football. But we're winning, and I'm happy. Of course, I want my team to win the World Cup. But please, Louis, give us a bit of flair tonight against Argentina. If we can get the same results, but we need a bit of flair. That's what we're all about. Dominance on the pitch. I won't say tiki-taka football, but you know, something special.
Have you seen signs of that though? You know, you've scored probably one of the best goals at the World Cup so far. Cody Gakpo is looking good. Memphis Depay looks like he's coming through the injury. Virgil van Dijk looks like he's the coolest bloke in Doha. You have got the players. Do you feel, though, there is some momentum with the Dutch team, that things maybe are about to get even better?
Well, if the USA game was something, the first bit of what we're going to see tonight, and if we see more of that, then I'm happy. If Cody Gakpo can do what he did in those group stages, that was fantastic. He's lightening up Dutch fans, he's lightening up Dutch football. And he's a bit of a gem. He's tall, he's big, he can head, he can score with left, right. We've seen it all in the group stages, and this is what we need tonight, because they've got Messi. You know, have we got a Messi? Nowhere near it. You know, Memphis Depay could not make it in Manchester. He's done okay at Barcelona, but he's not really risen to the level of absolute top stars. And this is his moment in the World Cup to do it. So if Gakpo and Memphis can really put it on tonight and exploit those areas where Messi is walking on the pitch, because that's what the Dutch players have been noticing. He's walking a bit, and if all goes well and Louis can stimulate his team, and which he has been doing in a fantastic way, because he's been a bit of a showman in this World Cup, and we like it, you know, and that is really could ignite the team.
I'm going to come on to my pet subject of Louis van Gaal in a minute, but let's just stick with Messi, if I may. You've talked about how you've noticed him walking a lot. Right, here's a question. Yeah. How do you stop Lionel Messi? It's never been asked before, that question, but how do the Dutch team go about nullifying him?
I've heard the Dutch players talking about the gaps and the spaces he leaves, and you can't stop him when he's on the ball. I mean, Virgil van Dijk and Nathan Ake fortunately have the experience of playing against top strikers in the Premier League. Both of them have been in great shape, have been looking good, and I'm glad that both of them are the stars of our defence, because they've got experience at top level. But there will be moments when he will escape, we know that. But there are also moments where he is wandering out of the game, and when he's not got the ball, he's not going to chase our attackers or defenders or anything, and that's the space where Holland will have to really hit it.
Tell me about the chapter that Louis van Gaal is writing in his book. Third time of being with the Netherlands. He's technically, under FIFA rules, never lost a World Cup game, because that 0-0 in the semi-final 24 that counts as a draw, not a defeat on penalties. He is an entertainer and a half. I've loved this week, sort of being around the camp with him coming out with whatever he's coming out of. But how is he viewed back home, and And what is Louis van Gaal on about? We know where is he? Where is his mindset?
Well, we've helped him entertain the public a bit because, you know, we've been quite critical. My own newspaper have been one of the most critical ones. I've got a chief football writer, Valentine Driessen, who's really had some goes with it.
Oh, he's Mr. Popular, isn't he?
Yeah, but you know what happened this week? That really made our week in a funny way. Louis lost his phone. He'd been in a disabled toilet. Why he goes to a disabled toilet, I don't know, but he'd been in a disabled toilet and left it again. Went to do another interview for television, and my football writer goes into the same toilet. Don't ask me why he goes in a disabled toilet, but he's on that toilet and he thinks, hey, there's a telephone. So he picks it up. Now, what do you do? If you want to see who it belongs to, you have to tap it. So he taps it and he sees Louis van Gaal with a big picture of them together. But also, 2 missed calls, Manchester United. Now, I mean, of all the people who we did not want to find that mobile phone, it was our reporter. Of course, we handed it back, couldn't go in the phone any further, we wouldn't have done, but we had to look into it to see who it belonged to.
I'm very glad you caveated this, said that you would no longer go into that phone. I'm very pleased to hear you say that. But in terms of that relationship with Van Gaal as well, why is he being so entertaining? Why does he not like you so much as well? But he really is. Is he trying to take all the pressure away from the players, or is this perhaps? He's been through a horrific deal with cancer. He's 71 years old. He probably acknowledges this is going to be his last time with the Dutch team as well. Is he just more relaxed and carefree than ever?
It's that combination, exactly. Yeah. Spot on. There is the ordeal of having to go through cancer. His wife, Truus, revealed before the World Cup that the cancer has not left his body yet. He makes out he's all good and cool, and he looks strong, and he comes across mentally strong. Of course, he did reveal in the summer that he could no longer carry on after the World Cup, and it was better that he would quit after the World Cup, especially as he was coming out of really hard treatments. And what is really admiring about him is that he never told the players. Every time he was in the Nations League and in all the international matches, he used to sneak out at night out of the hotel, chauffeur driven to the back end of a hospital where he was suffering, being treated for his suffering cancer, and coming back in the hotel in the morning, breakfast, bright and cheerful, unbelievable. You know, you've got to admire the man for being so strong. Now, he's had loads of experience in the game, and he knows that this is not the best group of players he's ever had. He's building them up. He doesn't have a Robben, he doesn't have a Van Persie, Sneijder, who were there in the World Cup final in 2010, and in 2014 as well. So he's got to take the pressure away, and he's done it in a brilliant way and he likes to make a bit of a fool of himself. At times he's a clown, but he's a funny and a nice clown, and he likes the confrontations. It brings the best out of him too.
Just a quick one, if I may. No insider information there, but Cody Gakpo is clearly a target for so many clubs with what he's done. Is he a target for Manchester United, do you think?
I think Eric is on his tail.
We'll leave it there. We've got to hand back. I think that you just said everything that we need to know there. Listen, Marcel, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this evening. I think what we both want, preferably no penalties, but I'd take 120 minutes of just a classic game between two heavyweights of football. That'd be great. Thank you for your time, Marcel. Marcel van der Kraan, a Dutch football expert, knows everything and knows everything about Louis van Gaal as well.
He does. That was great. I loved that. Thank you, Geraint.